if you're starting HTML for the first time, I recommend that you look up html.com. So we're going to be looking at HTML tags and attributes. Tags and attributes are the basis of HTML. You can see that written here. Tags and attributes, they are the very basics. They are part of the basis of HTML. So first of all, you cannot build a website in HTML without using tags. So this is like the syntax of HTML. They work together but perform different functions. So they work together perfectly together, but they perform different functions. Now let's get deep into this. What are HTML tags? Tags are used to mark up the start of an HTML element, and they are usually enclosed in angle brackets. An example of this tag is h1. So you can see the h1 tag right here. It's a typical example of what tags are. So you can see we have opening and closing angle brackets. So they are enclosed in angle brackets. So most tags must be open and closed as well in order to function. So if you have an opening tag, a tag that is supposed to have opening and closing, if you only have opening, that will not function. So most of the tag function when they are in pairs, while some of them can function without pairs. Example of those ones that can function without pairs are the image tag, the input tags, so on and so forth. Some other tags that we're going to discover as we proceed in this tutorial, not in this particular video, but in subsequent classes. So let's dive deep into the coding environment. So I already have a folder I created, Frontend Web Development Bootcamp. I'm going to open that, and I'll open it with code. So I'm going to quickly create a new file, and I will call it any name, but it has to be with .html at the end, very important. So I'm calling it input.html. So I'm quickly going to change something else from here. I'm going to change this to a different something because I don't want suggestions. I want to write the codes myself. So I know the very first thing I need here is my doc type. I need my doc type. Sorry, HTML. And I'm going to close that. Then my HTML tag. Closing HTML tag. So you can see what the closing tag looks like. The difference between both of them is the closing tag has a backslash. So the next thing I want to have is my head tag, where my title and other meta tags are located. So let me close the title, the head as well. So the head tag comes in pairs. Then my title tag, the title of this page. So I'll call it input tags tutorial. So that's the closing tag. For now, I'm going to have just the title tag in the head. Other tags will be discovered as we proceed in this training. So the next one I want to do is my body, is a body tag. Sorry, the body tag. Not actually my body, but the body tag for this website. So if you notice where I don't have a backslash here, I quickly need to put that. So we're looking at the input tag. First of all, let me have an h1 here just to explain what the website is about. So input tags tutorial, that's what the website is. Created the h1. then the input tag itself. So this is what the tag looks like, input. So if we should save this and load it in our browser, so I'm quickly going to hit on the live server, go live. So you can see input tags tutorial. The title is input tags tutorial, and my H1, which is very bold here, is input tag tutorial. So this, what you're noticing is this box here. So this box can allow me to get information from my user. So the user can type into this box. Don't worry, the box is not looking beautiful, but with CSS we can make it look fancy to suit whatever designs we get. But at this point we're not looking at CSS, we're just looking at the basics, the very basics, which is HTML tags. So other things that are supposed to be in the tags, in the input tag, because look at what the input tag is, just a simple input. There are some information that should be provided, which is known as attributes. And if we should come back to this website, we'll see that HTML attributes contain additional pieces of information. Attributes take the form of an opening tag and additional info is placed inside. So it takes the form of an opening tag. For example, an H1 tag, the opening tag of H1 element can have attributes attached to them, to it. Same thing for the input tag. So it doesn't matter if it is a self-close tag or a tag that comes in pair, they all can have attributes. So the very first attribute we want to implement in our input tag is the type, because we want to tell the user the type of text, that the type of data we want to get from them. So that will be text, because I want the name to come in text. This first one is going to be for their name, so the name should come in text. So when I save it and I go back, there shouldn't be any difference, just to know that it is in text. It was in text by default. Let's say I change this text to password, and then I save. When I go back here and I type, it's going to be in password format. You can see it's encrypted. So you get, so I'm going to put it back to text and save. So when we test it, it's in text. So one thing we want to do again is to let the user know what the box is meant for. So by default, the user will not know what this box is meant for. So it's an input box where user should put information, but the user might not know what information is required. So that is where the placeholder comes in. So what we call a placeholder. So it's another attribute that the input tag utilizes. So inside of this placeholder, you can see inside of this placeholder, I'm going to say enter your first name. Then close my double quotes, and when I save it, I should, so you see, enter your first name. So let me quickly make a few more inputs. Let me also get the last name as well. So remember, the name is a text, so the type is going to be text. Then the placeholder will be enter your last name. When I save, I should have that there. Enter your last name, enter your first name, enter your last name. So let's say we also want to get the password. So input. So remember, the type will be password. So one thing you should note is the type are always in lowercase, but the placeholder, what should be in the placeholder, can be in whatever case you want to use. So I'm going to say create new password, create new password. So when I save, I see create new password here. So let me also do for confirm password for the user to come. So this in our backend, you can check to see if the password and the confirm password is the same thing. So placeholder type is password, placeholder is confirm password. So I have to close this and then I save. So I have name, my name is, then the surname or last name, then password. I can put anything inside of here. So then I will need a button to submit, right? So we also have button tag in HTML. Now this button tag also takes in type. So type is going to be, I'm going to make it button, but it doesn't have placeholder. Let's say we add placeholder here and say button. So you see the button is very tiny here because it's not supposed to have a placeholder. So the button has a closing tag. So it comes in pairs. The button comes in pair. So in between here is where you can add your content. So I can say submit. Say submit and save. So you can see we have our button here. Let me give you the password now. So I click on that, nothing happened. Let's try something. Let's say when the type should be in reset. So there are so many types that you can utilize. If you're using Visual Studio Code, you should be able to get those tags should be suggested to you. So I disable that. So when I hit submit, nothing happens. Let's say refresh. I hope these types are right. So let's hit. So nothing happens. Let me quickly enable that. So there is reset, there is submit, there is button. So let's just leave it as submit. We just want to submit. Save. So you can see we have our input tags here, so we can get information from the user and perform whatever function we want to perform with those information. So this is how we get data from the user. So let me change this to login. Sign up, that should be create your new account. Create your new account. So these are the information we expect the user to put into this website. So in the next tutorial, we're going to be building a real form, a real login form, because at this point there are a few things that we've not utilized in creating a login form. So in the next tutorial, I'm going to show you what that is. And yeah, so that's going to be all for today. When you have the time, please go through html.com, and so it's really beginner friendly. So you can see we have something like golden rules to remember. the vast majority of tags must be opened and closed with the element information such as title or text resting between the tags. So you have your opening tag like this, and then the closing tag with the information in between, just like in our H1. So this is our closed